Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Cody with Let's Talk About Scents, and today we are going to be talking about a brand out of either Toronto, Canada, somewhere in Canada, or Ontario, Canada. Every place that I looked to find out exactly where Persons of Interest was located, it gave me those three options, so that's what we're going to go with because we don't know how to pinpoint it. But what I do know is that we are dealing today with Persons of Interest created by Dino Carachiollo. Hope that I'm pronouncing his last name right, as we are unsure about that as well. But I hope that we got it spot on, and if we didn't, then you get the idea. It is created by Dino. They're somewhere in Canada, and they are absolutely phenomenal. And at the end of this review, you are going to be saying, thank you, Cody, for letting me know about Persons of Interest if you already didn't. All right, little backstory about Dino. Dino is the owner and designer of Crown Shaving Company. We all are familiar with Crown Shaving Company. It's crazy. Whenever I started dealing with these fragrances, I was completely unaware that this was Dino's resume. He is a fourth generation barber, and Persons of Interest is just his passion project. All these fragrances that Dino is creating over at Persons of Interest are designed to invoke the feeling of memory and experience when being worn. At the same time, this company is allowing Dino to fully use all of that freedom to express himself artistically. Super awesome. These are phenomenal. What he has done is phenomenal. The layers, the depth, the art, the value, and the creativity in these fragrances that I am about to share with all of you is top notch. It is absolutely fantastic. All right, enough of me rambling. Let's get into it. The first fragrance we are going to be talking about from Persons of Interest, and go ahead and strap yourself in because the names of these alone are just that cool, just super rad, kick-ass name that when somebody asks you what you're wearing, you are going to be proud to tell them this name. We're wearing Beyond the Pines. Super cool. Love the name of this one. This was my favorite. Usually I save the best for last. This was my favorite out of all of them that Dino sent me. And trust me, it was such a tight race between all these. So, on Beyond the Pines, notes are going to be bergamot, cardamom, vetiver, cedarwood, lavender, and amber. You can tell whenever I name off the notes that this is just a bomb of a fragrance, absolutely jam-packed with layers and beautiful notes. You get a refreshing tart lime. So refreshing tart lime off that bergamot. Right at the opening, cardamom, sharp green apple, so it's all blended together. You got the citrus, you got the fruity accords, but that is extremely short-lived on this one. You are immediately hit with a very grassy woodiness that you are going to get from that vetiver and that cedarwood just blending and melding together. I get a light freshness from the lavender that's in it, and then a sweet pine from the amber that's in it. Super odd to get that note from an amber, but that's exactly what I get, and I guess that's why we're listed as Beyond the Pines. All of that coming together with that woodiness, that grassy, all of those things just combining just gives you this beautiful, just refreshing, tart, lime, grassy, woody pine scent, and it is absolutely phenomenal. And to mention, I did not say it in the start, all of these fragrances that Dino has created are gender neutral. So these are all unisex fragrances. There is no set design. My daughter wears every fragrance that I bring through this door. So they all smell fantastic, all smell different on her. Her body chemistry completely altered them. Super, super neat. So that is Beyond the Pines. Like I said, that is my numero uno. I absolutely love that. All said and done, I will own a full bottle of that because I cannot not have that in my standard rotation. I need full bottles of all these, and I really want to try everything else that Dino has. These have surpassed what I even remotely thought. I had a good idea of what I thought they were going to smell like, but this, they blew out of the water. All right, next up, another one of those names, guys. We're talking Buried Past. I know somebody comes up to you and they say, "What are you wearing, man? That smells so good." You're like, "Persons of interest, Buried Past." It just rolls off the tongue and it just sounds super rad, and you're going to be that person. That just sounds super cool when you say it. Art pieces, man, art pieces. All right, so on this one we've got, that's so good. Amber spice, orange, tobacco leaf, vanilla, rich chocolate, patchouli, amber, and black pepper. All of the layering that Dino has done in these, man, they are so well blended. Like, it is such an art and such a craft that he has created these. It is crazy, and you need to get your nose on these. So on this one, that amber spice at the start, for me, does not put off any kind of spice. I get a sharp leatheriness from it. I get a ton of leatheriness, bitter citrus, super strong bitter citrus and leatheriness right off the opening. That bitter citrus coming from the orange. Then that tobacco leaf starts to set in, but it is a very bright green tobacco. Like, I'm talking fresh plucked, like still wet off of the field. Green tobacco. Then that patchouli comes in. You get an earthy muskiness, blends really well with that sharp green tobacco. And then the black pepper creates, it has to be coming from the black pepper. It is like an evergreen. So I get a ton of very, very, very fresh leather, citrus from the orange, and then super earthy green woods off of this one. It is so nice. I mean, so nice. It is bright, sharp, fresh. It's a punch right in your face. Not a lot of sweetness going on with this one. A lot of bitter freshness. Super, super, super great. Love Buried Past. Super awesome. I created a bunch of content on Instagram, basically building little miniature videos to go with all of these, some art pieces, and it was super easy to create that based off of the names and off of the scent and what you pick up on these and how they paint a perfect picture when you're wearing them. How you feel, what you think about it, like, it's super awesome. So that one's super great. Now, this one up next is going to be Sweet 1742, made popular by John and Yoko Ono. If you don't know anything about it, you can look it up, read about it. They stayed in Sweet 1742. Hair piece, bed piece. That's all I'm going to say about it. Check it out. Do some digging. Super cool. So on this one, we've got cedarwood, citrus, tobacco, clove, vanilla, and synthetic ambergris, which is also going to be ambroxan, which is coming from the clary sage plant there. That's basically just going to stretch out your longevity. Ambroxan, ambergris, it is super awesome. I've talked about it in past videos. Natural ambergris is from sperm whale. It's the bile from their stomach. It is this sticky, sweet substance. Gets sweeter the more that it ages. It's a super expensive ingredient. It's only legal, I think, in France. They have dogs that hunt it and everything. People were poaching whales. Long story short, it basically makes everything stick, and the longevity is just completely, it surpasses everything else. And this one right here, Sweet 1742, out of all of them that I wore, lasts absolutely the longest. I get 12 hours plus on my skin. On clothing, I'm telling you, if I didn't wash the shirt right off the bat, it was on there for 2 days in my laundry basket. So super, super longevity on this one. All right, on this one, I get a very, very dry sweetness. Or actually, I don't think it's the sweetness that comes from the tobacco. It is a very dry, rugged. Not rugged. No. It's a very dry, sweet blend. It has to be a mixture of that tobacco and that clove together. Very, very dry sweetness. You get sweet, warm kind of feeling from that clove. Very, very smooth, creamy vanilla. I actually have this one on my hand right here. Oh, yeah. That dry down. Very, very, very creamy vanilla. Smooth, warm, sweet vanilla, all of that kind of blending. I don't get a lot of the citrus or the cedar in this one. This is more maybe kind of a slight woodiness from the ambergris. But other than that, it is a very dry, sweet, warm, just vanilla. And just a touch of just a very sweet tobacco and clove in the background. It's really nice. This one, yeah, it's just really nice. That kind of, that exudes something. It's a very, like a prestigious fragrance. You feel class from that one. It is a very classy scent. It's really nice. All right. Guys, last but not least, this one is just everything that it says in the title. It is that in the bottle. This is Sex and Cigarettes. This was my number 2 for sure. Like I said, they were all such a tight race. Like, they're all so great in their own, and they're all so unique. This one, Sex and Cigarettes. We've got bergamot, lemon, tobacco, nutmeg, and cedarwood. Sharp, tart right off the start. Like, very, very sharp, tart opening with that bergamot and lemon. But it is so short-lived. Immediately, you are hit with this dry, just hung up dry in the top of a barn curing, dry, rugged tobacco. Super rugged tobacco. That nutmeg gives like a earthy sweetness. And then the cedar dry down on this one or whatever is it's a very wet, fresh cedar. So this is like a rugged, dry tobacco, wet, just woody, sexy, earthy fragrance. I mean, it's so nice, man. The sex part of this would be the imagination of that tobacco was just wrung out with sweat, and you were going in for that kill of that intimate moment, and you had just been hanging up tobacco. You wrung out them clothes and got to work. Like, that is this fragrance, which is exactly going to toss out the window of what I compare it to. This fragrance right here reminds me of the backwoods cigars that my papa used to smoke. If you're not familiar with backwoods cigars, they came in a rolled up pouch. You took them out and they were so sticky coated with the sweetness that they were dipped in. A lot of times it was like cherry or vanilla. This smells like it, but with a ton of just sexiness involved. Super, super, super great. And I thought it was very interesting. The last 3 fragrances, the reason that I categorized all these last is because every single one, Sex and Cigarettes, Sweet 1742, and Buried Past, they all have tobacco in them. And the way that he has utilized the tobacco and the other notes surrounding that tobacco note, they are every single one different with that tobacco note, which is super, super awesome. Very unique. You would imagine that if tobacco is in this and they're all created by the same creator, that tobacco note is going to be uniformly the same in it, but it is total opposite. And you get the tobacco note in all 3 of them. And it is beautiful. It is beautiful the way that Dino has absolutely used these, what he has created. They are fantastic. And I cannot thank him enough for sharing his creations with me and allowing me to put my nose on these and sharing them with you all. I think these are absolutely phenomenal. They're some of my favorite fragrances I've ever had the chance of being a part of and obtaining. I hope to own all of these, and I hope to try Two Wolves and Supernova. Like, I want to try everything that this man has created just to experience it all and see all of the other and different creations. And I urge you all to go and at least try one of these from his creations right here. They are absolutely out of this world. Layers, quality, art, value, creativity. It is the entire package. Dino, thank you so very much, man, for sharing these again. Guys, if you have any questions or just like to say hey, leave it in the comments. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up and like. It helps me out so much to keep creating this content. Be sure to share if you know somebody that is interested, or if you just think that this was so cool that you just want to share it with somebody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell. We have tons of stuff coming up in the future, and we will see you next time. Thanks, guys. You all have an awesome day. Look good, smell good, feel good.